Hello, beautiful ones. Welcome home to the home you never left. So there's no teaching, no direction here. We're sitting in heaven. We are heaven. We are paradise pretending. And we're here today, seemingly, to speak about this word called non-duality, which simply means not to. This is not to. It appears as if it is to, like an optical illusion. That does not end. This Leela, this light show goes on. There will not be a shift. There will not be a happening. There will not be an event. Because those things take place in time. We are speaking of the timeless, which is appearing as time right now, as your flesh and as your breath. That is why I cannot give this to you. I cannot give you divinity. I cannot give you a higher state of consciousness. I cannot give you heaven because you're it. And most of the time, I sit with a lot of beautiful beings. Beautiful. And sometimes there's a readiness, there's a rightness, there's an openness, and sometimes there's a fight. This here doesn't care which one is arising because they're both freedom, both. But what I can say is what most beings will do in this space is fight for their limitations. And that is freedom. I'm not here to change that. But what you call your limitation is merely a story and a belief system handed down to you by what you call your society and your world. There isn't one. There's only this. And whatever is arising in this, whether it is comfortable or uncomfortable, is what we call the divine. This is the last place you'd look. This is the last place you'd look. Because when we feel separate, when we're living in what we call the nightmare or hell, we think we are an object. And we think there's an inside and an outside. There's distance, there's time. There isn't. And just like in a dream at night, it can seem like you're running and fucking and creating and moving and grooving and dying and bleeding. Then when you come to, it was and it wasn't simultaneously. So what we're speaking about is a paradox. It's going to seem to contradict to the mind. But what we're speaking about here is what we would call beyond mind, yet appears as it. They're not separate. There is no ego. There is no separate evildoer. There's no separate mind that's trying to pull you away from divinity. There is only divinity appearing as a mind, as an ego, as this isn't it. I'm broken, Anna. How do I get to where you are? You don't. Because I'm not here and you're not there. This is an appearance. And it doesn't make logical sense. It only makes intuitive. And just because this is seen and heard by no one does not mean there's not taxes, that laundry does not need to be folded, that there's not cat crap that needs to be scooped out of the litter box. All of that still arises, because isn't that what is arising now? Yes. I can only share what seems to stop arising, and it's the energetics of seeking. The energetics of seeking say, I am a separate individual, and this is not it. And I will try really hard through study, practice, and lots of videos to get this. But this is not a school system. It's not about getting, and it's not about understanding, and it's not about intellect. This is very unorthodox, and it will seem taboo. But I'm speaking to the alive and the awakened you, the intuitive you, beingness, God, aliveness. It is here now, and it is what's looking through your eyes. Your body can confirm this. Your body is a manifestation of formlessness appearing as form. It will speak to you through goosebumps, what we would call it heart opening, and a live energy through the body. The body's not separate. Nothingness. So today we can chat about this passion called life. This passion or freedom is just so passionate and so free, it's appearing as you and me. It also appears as dispassion, depression, anxiety, frustration, anger, irritation, until it's recognized by no one. This is it, and nothing needs to change for you to be free, for this to be home. So I feel like that's a good springboard possibility. If you like to dance, we can dance. If you have questions, that's cool. If you want to share something, that's also cool, but nothing's needed. So we can also just stare at each other. We'll just see what happens.
Hello, this is Will.
Hey. Oh, hey, Will. How are you, buddy?
There's a long pause. I'll just get it over with because this is arising. I got a new
Okay.
guitar yesterday,
Congratulations, man.
yeah, and I have a song for you and all the moms.
All right, let's hear it.
Now, normally we echo. You could actually try this if you want to. It kind of works online with the echo. You just sing the echo what I say. So anybody else that wants to unmic too, you can. Just it'll be loud and weird, but that's okay. Excuse me. We'll practice once though, just so you can practice, okay? Here's the part we echo. Usually we do it super loud. You can use your outside voice inside just for this part, okay? So when I go, I love my mother, you go, I love my mother. Okay, you ready? I love my mother.
I love my mama.
Perfect. I love my mama.
I love my mama.
Perfect. Okay. Feel free to join in, everybody. Sing where you are or unmic even. It's okay. Here we go. 1, 2. Usually we do it rock and roll style, really loud. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go. I missed the bus on the day it rained. Mom drove me to school. She never complained. I love my mother. I love my mother. I love my mother.
I love my mother.
I love my mother, 'cause she's so good to me. That was good. Well, I was crying in the middle of the night. It was a terrible dream till she turned on the light. Oh, I love my mother.
I love my mother.
I love my mother.
I love my mother.
I love my mother, 'cause she's so good to me. That's right. Although some people have sisters, raise your hand if you have a sister. Who has a sister? How about brothers? Who has a brother? Raise your hand if you have a brother. How about aunts, uncles, cousins? Grandmas and grandpas? I wish I had one. Oh, I love my family. I love my
family.
I love my family.
I love my family.
I love my family. It's so good to me. Now, usually I do it with kids, but sometimes there are parents in the audience too. I've never thought of that, because then, you know, you could sing it to your kids. So if you have children, so sing, or to your puppies or your gardens. I love that, Anna. You can be a mother to your garden. That's so sweet. Oh, I love my children. I love my children. My children.
My children.
I love my children, 'cause they're so good. That's right. Oh, I love my mother, and I know my mother loves me. That's right. Oh, I love my mother, and I know my mother loves. If you love your mom, say yeah.
Yeah.
If you love your dog, Petra, say yeah. If you love your friends, say yeah.
Yeah.
Because all mothers love you and me. Happy day, everyone. Yay.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you. Sorry, I just had
Thank
to.
you. That was great.
I had to do
It was
it.
beautiful.
And
I had a
little
whisper
love-
towards the end. My little one's asleep.
Oh, sorry. I actually
No,
do
you're
a
good.
I do a whisper version of it too because kids like to whisper
Do
as
you?
much as they like to yell.
It is exciting.
Yes.
Not
okay.
my little one though. She doesn't like to whisper.
Oh no. Yeah, and love to your trees and in your whole beautiful environment over there too.
Yes, thank you, Will.
It must be chilly and cold
Thank you.
today. You'd be outside.
It's windy. It's windy. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, too much of this. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there we go. Now I feel better. I won't interrupt
Love
anymore.
you, friend. Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
Oh, um,
Is that you, Bruce?
I guess I'm still
Hey, man.
unmuted, so here I am unexpectedly.
Yeah. You got a question, friend?
Well, more of an observation,
Sure.
I guess, which is a question. So does this come and go? I mean, it seems to me once you flip the switch, the light is on and it's permanent. But on the other hand, I seem to come with thoughts and then no thoughts and thoughts and no thoughts. I mean, what do you think? Is it permanent once it happens, or is it come and go up to that point, or?
Well, Bruce, thoughts arise here. Thoughts are the manifestation of oneness. Thoughts don't go away. When we're on a spiritual path, though, thoughts are the new problem. They aren't.
Thoughts are not a problem, right?
Of course not. Why would they be? Are clouds a problem?
Right.
Yeah.
But the experience of witnessing those thoughts.
Yeah, we've been taught about the witness, and then we think being a witness of thoughts is something special, and that's something that we're talking about here. That would be a practice, and that may arise, and if that's a naturally arising, that's what's naturally arising. But what we're speaking about is there's not someone who just kind of is pulling back and detaching and micromanaging thoughts like this. It's a relaxation. It's a collapse into a primordial space where there's not that dynamic of needing to hover or detach. Thoughts arise. There's just a gentleness with it all. No need to try to pull back or watch it or manipulate. That kind of dynamic collapses because it springs out of self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is extremely about manipulation and watching, because it's got a job to do. It's a
Right.
creator. It's in control. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something just a minute ago, the energetics of seeking, very interesting idea. It occurs to me that I'd say most of the planet has no interest at all in seeking. They are just it,
Oh, no. Most are seeking this here. Just some beings are seeking enlightenment. Some seek a new car, sex, fame, money, a new job, a lover, a new house, a new carpet. Seeking can manifest. It's just, this isn't it. It manifests as an idea of needing to get something else. So it just sometimes arises in the character to seek enlightenment, but it could be seeking a new hairdo or a new lover or job. It's coming from an idea out of lack.
Yes.
Mhm.
So seeking enlightenment is no different than seeking a cup of coffee.
Well, okay. So when we talk about seeking, like obviously we can look for our car keys. You lost your car keys. It looks like you're scavenging, hunting for that. Or seeking, that still arises. Now the seeking energy I'm speaking about here comes from the idea that you are two. You are separate from totality. You are separate from life. And when that arises, of course, within each character, it arises differently. One goes to religion, one goes to spirituality, maybe therapy, the opposite, becoming an atheist or agnostic. There's just a stance and a strong position, which we call belief systems. What we're speaking about here is a collapse into the unknown. You really don't know what's next or what this is, but paradoxically, knowing arises out of it. Logic arises out of it because it's not separate from logic. It's not separate from knowledge. You can't split the two. They are one, but logic will not bring you to intuition or to timelessness. Timelessness uses logic. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I've totally forgotten the thing that I was going to say, and then another thing's come to mind. So I thought, I guess I'll say it anyway. Oh, sorry. Am I?
1 second.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure. I'm just not sure if Bruce was done asking his
Oh,
question.
my
Yet.
bad.
Can we wait to
I'm
see if
not
he's?
sure how the thing works.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Bruce, are we still chatting, friend?
Well, yes, because
No pressure to be done. No pressure to be done.
it gives me the idea that, yes, there is a freshness and a novelty. I remember Terence McKenna talked about novelty, as an art really being the freshness of what comes forth unexpectedly.
Yeah.
It seems that's kind of what we're doing here.
Oh, totally. And that's
Okay.
what's already arising, but the filter of seeking is projecting, labeling everything, trying to define and understand everything. Like when one feels separate, you are the center point and everything is saying something about you and what's going on with you. That collapses.
So how are your dreams at night?
I don't really there's not much dreams that arise here, nor is there an interest. This is a dream right now.
Okay, well, but dream, we go to sleep at night, the body unloads all its stress. It shows up as mental activity we call dreaming. But, we've talked about that. I seem to be, we're all as aware in our dreams as we are right now.
Well, that's what you're projecting. I'm not sure if that's actually true. This here doesn't have, dreams don't really arise here at night, what you're describing.
Why not?
I don't know. Why does a bear shit in the woods? I don't know. It's just what's happening, man. That's what stops, because there's something there that thinks an answer out of this is going to bring you closer to it. You're already God pretending. You're already totality going, my God, if I get closer to this through asking the questions about dream interpretation or why doesn't she dream at night, I will get closer to this. Absolutely not. It's hopeless.
Well, why?
Well, go ahead. We'll play. That's
why
all
are we even talking? It's like,
yeah. Oh,
right?
It's hope. Yeah, it is. The words are hopeless because we're just marinating in paradise right now. So we can play the game of, oh, yeah, we'll get closer through questions, but actually questioning completely dissolves. Where your car keys may arise. Hey, how do I get to the hairdresser may arise, but how do I get closer to God, divinity, wholeness, liberation? Totally collapses. There is only that.
Right. So we might.
But until that, there'll be the ping pong table, so to speak.
Right.
Give and take, tug of war.
So we might as well just sing or, as you say, stare at each other.
Or dance.
Or dance.
Or whatever floats your boat, man. Because this is it. You might as well start enjoying it or not, but you end up right where you are.
All right. Sairam,
Cool,
Satnam, Jai Gurudev, thank you very much. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, man.
Y'all. I'm muting off.
All right, friend. Okay. Now it was Peter.
Hello, sorry, I wasn't sure how and I tried to do a clap before and I did a raised hand and then I wasn't sure if the raised hand would let it just got really confused. As to what I should do. Okay, I keep having ideas of things that I wanted to say and then I forget where the track of the thought was, so I forget what the thing was that I wanted to say, so I just get a splurge in my mind at the moment, I think. The first thing that keeps coming to mind is that, like, I totally get that there's like, or for me, I think is all I can say really, is that there's like, on occasion, there's like a feeling of like a feeling of love that arises that I can't like attach to any specific thing. So I'll wake up in the morning for no reason, or a reason I don't understand, or a reason I can theorize about, or whatever. I just feel this feeling of love, which feels very pure. It feels like a kind of truth, and it just kind of sits there. And it is. And sometimes that will interact with other feelings. So I will have like a feeling of tension, or a feeling of confusion, or a feeling of whatever. And that will interact, and that feeling of love will sit there, and it will be like, I'm the truth, and it will be fine. And it'll be like, that will happen. And that will allow me just to be in that space, but I can see the other space. But then other times that seems to lapse and disappear. And there's no sense that I kind of would want to grasp at that thing, because I know that would be impossible anyway. But I guess, and I suppose this isn't really a question, it's just like, it just kind of interests me that your perspective is that, I suppose that every moment is sort of perfection. And to me, I feel like there's a specific like experience of what I would kind of call perfection, which seems to sit outside of me and doesn't.
Oh, of course, yeah. The mind will always put it at arm's length, brother. The mind has a definition of perfection, which is rooted in a belief. But look at the word belief. The word lie is right in the center. We're speaking about just being life, which doesn't need any beliefs. Perfection is taught to us. And the only example, thank God for Mother's Day today, I can use for this perfection is a baby that's born with a disability. In the light of that mother's eyes, it is pure perfection. It is not logical. It's not understandable. It is beyond comprehension, but it is perfection. And that's what I'm speaking to and from here. It's not a logical based conversation, brother. We're speaking about perfection that is beyond the human mind. The human mind is finite. It can only operate in a very small bubble. We are speaking of infinity. It has no bounds or limits. It's this already, just sitting, breathing, talking, just this.
Okay. I mean, I can completely, well, I can see and perceive this thing that you would be speaking to, which would be about a material sense, which then would be linked, I suppose, to a spiritual sense. And I suppose I would understand the dangers of trying to systematize spirituality.
Oh, but my love, we're not talking
systematizing
about spirituality here. Peter,
Yeah.
this isn't a spiritual conversation.
Oh, okay.
This has nothing to do with spirituality. And has nothing to do with your mental understanding. We're not speaking to the mind. We're speaking to the heart of isness, which doesn't need to process and chew and understand. This is not about a personal experience. It doesn't happen in time. It doesn't happen to you. There's no you there with free will or choice. That's the illusion. The illusion is, I know what this is. I know where I'm going. I know this is what perfection looks like. I know I'm not enlightened. That is the illusion.
So, okay, so perhaps okay. I was like, I'll think about that, and then that doesn't make sense in my head, what you said. So I suppose the experience, no, okay. I think
it's not an experience.
Yeah, I have a different, I think, way of perceiving at the moment.
Well, it's also not a perception. Perception is the veil. Perception tends to do with me as a person looking with my beliefs, my experiences. We're speaking about something, brother, that is common to all: isness, beingness, presence. What is not common to all is your experience, which you're saying, I have a different angle. That's the illusion. That is the dream of separation. What we're speaking about here is common to all. It's not personal, but it can arise, obviously, as a personal experience. And I'm not here to change that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's yeah, being able to internalize that. I think that's more similar to another perspective. Something
There
with
is
the
no,
dog.
we're not speaking about other, I get you.
The
Yeah.
angles get closed out. But yeah. It's like, where do I? But no, that's fine. I think I'll, yeah, I
Oh, can I ask something?
Oh,
Sure.
How's motherhood like?
There's challenges, sister. Sure. But there's also beauty. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love my baby girls. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
But there is sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's life. Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't change. That doesn't end. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, Anna.
Hi.
And every no one around here.
Hi, Mauricio.
First, enjoying that you are, or in your family have found a new place to live and have
Thank you.
even more fun.
Yes, thank you.
Is it around where you currently are, or are you going to the Ozarks?
It's about 3 hours south from where we are, into a little
Ah.
village. Yeah. But it's so far, it's golden. And the neighbors are so friendly, helpful, beautiful. So very grateful for that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And I just want to express my love and appreciation to every one of you, your questions, your presence. Not that there is one, but anyway.
Yes, thank
you.
You're beautiful, Mauricio. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Anna. I was wondering if you would speak about about consciousness or isness being aware of itself, and which I'm not sure if that would be self-consciousness. It's like,
Well, I get those things, and I was taught those things too, right? And then you're trying so hard to be aware of yourself, aware of yourself, right? This is something that it just naturally collapses into an impersonal seeing. Now, when we hear those teachings of consciousness is aware of itself or awareness is aware, then we think, okay, in that space, I'm untouchable. Nothing can happen. I'm just kind of like, we hear a lot of that witness and things are just passing by, like you're in the audience and there's just the movie show, which sounds really great. Sounds real great, real passive. And that's why, when you're a seeker on the path, it's like, oh my God, how do I just sit back and enjoy this? Like I'm at a movie show or a movie theater. It's not going to happen because it's the aliveness of this. Like you cannot pull this apart. And so many beings will think, oh, Anna, I had thought forms today. Anger arose in my body and I wasn't pulled back enough to really just detach and hover. That's not what we're speaking about. It's inseparable. So when anger arises, it's colored, just like when you put red food coloring in water. It's still water though. And so I know, and this is a letdown for the spiritual seeker, because we think if I reach the top, I will have space between me and the anger. It won't take me over. I won't get angry and I can just detach and be dispassionate. And that may arise too, but we're speaking of the passion of life, which anger could appear in an argument or sadness or frustration. It just oscillates and moves through very quickly, or it can be longer. It really just depends because there's no longer belief systems in the way. Anger is innocence, frustration, all the emotions are the rainbow of what you're calling consciousness. But so is the body, so are thought forms, so is, well, everything. That's what I mean by consciousness is an optical illusion, because it's not really there. It appears in the sky, you see, but it's the effect of a white light hitting the prism.
I get all that. I guess I'm
Yeah.
having trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I feel that. I feel like I know I live that. I can't talk about it, but which
Oh
I guess
yeah.
is
I mean,
fine.
here you can. It's not so weird. But yeah, what are you talking about, lady? Yeah, I get it.
I was just, I don't know, just wondering about isness. Isness aware of itself as me? Isness, like I look out here and I see the dog lying here in the trees and it's just beautiful and I feel that expression.
Yeah. What we call me is just the story, the beliefs, the thought forms. It's the phenomena that we think that has arisen to a center point. Otherwise, there's just a body, there's preferences, there's a personality that arises, but that's what you're calling awareness appearing as a personality. There isn't going to be some separate awareness and a personality that the awareness is aware of. That's the dualistic dream of spirituality that collapses into this beautiful wild aliveness where we don't need to micromanage or hover or try to watch things so much all the time.
Try to understand.
But watch yourself. Yeah, that's the self-consciousness. So what though, if that arises, if self-consciousness arises, oh my, cool, wowee, super. But Nisargadatta said this, and I'm paraphrasing. When you are no longer self-conscious, but conscious, you're not a person anymore. Okay. And that's exactly what we're speaking about. I'd rather say when there's an impersonal seer, because there's still a looker, they're still seeing. It's just not a perception through a personal lens that goes through file cabinets of beliefs and experience. It's just the immediacy, which could be very painful or very grateful. Yes.
Just
It's
fun.
fleeting though. It's fleeting. All of it's so fleeting. You can't hold on to it. And as soon as you want to go back and talk about it, it's like, where'd it go? Oh my God, it's already been erased. We are riding on water, or we're like birds in the sky. We are untraceable. There's no footprints here. There's footprints in consciousness, self-consciousness. So everything's erased as you walk. Yeah.
Which is it. Yeah. I've experienced that a lot lately in the sense of just there's so much going on that to kind of feel like I'm kind of floating through it, and then it's not there, and then it is there, and but it's not not in my head. I mean, I'm not thinking about it. It's more I'm just experiencing it, and then when I get in my head, I'm going, "What was that?" Now, why am I crashing the commercial? You know, it's like,
oh God, totally. Yeah. Oh, it's just full on alive. So if there's crying at a commercial, it's crying, or it's anger rises, there's anger. If there's love, there's love. It's just so full on because there's not the cap anymore. You know, yeah, but you're doing a great job describing it. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Anna. Yeah, I was during this past week, I was actually out in Missouri.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, I was out there. Yeah, I was in Perryville, Missouri on company business.
Where's that? Is that north or south?
That's south of St. Louis.
Oh, okay. So about northeast
Southeast
area kind of
part
thing.
the
Okay.
state, the southeast area of the state.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, yeah, I was out there last week and I was staying in a motel that week.
Mhm.
And in that while I was there, I was watching these videos on YouTube from this one certain lady who I won't mention. I mean, not that I'm afraid to admit, well, anyway, she was talking about the I am practice. She was talking about spiritual practices and stuff not being needed. And she was talking about the I am practice, which is like one of the main practices I've had, is I am, I am. And she said something that just, I don't know, it was like a big light bulb coming on or something or whatever. It's like, she said that the I am is the very foundation of the sense of me. I'd never heard it put that simply before, and it just really struck me. I'm like, oh my God, she is right. It's like, I mean, I looked at the I am from lots of different angles and blah, blah, blah. But she just said that so simply, and it just struck me. So now, I don't know, I don't know,
I don't know yeah, I don't know, makes sense, yeah. Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to share that. I mean,
We could also say that's why those affirmations start with the I am. It's reinforcing a belief system. And when there's no longer the believer, you could say confidence and worthiness is just natural. But yeah, the I am's always needing to prove, exist, stand out, validate. Yeah.
and while we're on the I am.
But so what though? I mean, but we don't want to make it seem like the me is something that needs to be gotten rid of, like a tick or a pimple or something. It's the absolute too.
The mind have that tendency to think that way about it.
Right. Yeah. That's why I don't like to, more so this is getting simpler and simpler and simpler without going into these kind of verbiages, because it can be easily seen, oh gosh, I shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't have a me. What?
So it's like the I am is just, in one sense, it's just like a reference to self-consciousness.
Yeah, but that's just what's arising. We're not saying that there shouldn't be that. It's just obviously it's uncomfortable to seek for what already is. Yeah, but seeking for your car keys or seeking for a new house or something like that can totally arise. Yeah, and that can be uncomfortable. But it seemed the major discomfort though, the major discomfort is I'm a real person outside of the whole. I am a real ego outside of the absolute. And I'm going to, through my will and effort, hop back into the ocean. There's never been an outside. This is the ocean. Yeah. We are the ocean. Yes. But so what if it wants to appear as a fractalized wave? Yeah, none of it matters. Because this sitting is the absolute. We just think that the absolute has certain qualities connected to it, and they're not human.
Yeah, I know the mind wants to try to look at it that way.
Yeah, the absolute's appearing as human.
Try to box the infinite. Can't. Anyway, one more thing while we're on the I am. I've read the book I Am That, with Sangha Maharaj. And anyway, one thing he says about the I am is that the I am this or I am that is unreal, while the just I am has a stamp of reality on it. And you don't add anything to I am that has a stamp of reality on it, as he says.
Yeah, and I get it.
I am this or I am that, fill in the blank, that is the illusion. We're an illusion, so. Well, now when he says I am has a stamp, when it's just I am, and he says it has a stamp of reality on it, would you have any thoughts about that? Or, I mean, I know would you have any thoughts about that when he says that just the I am has a stamp of reality on it? Just I am, not I am this.
Well,
I am-
I can't speak for Nisargadatta. I
Yeah.
can't, because the I am can be confusing. And that's why we can relax about the words. We can relax about all the teachings, all the pointers. I am, all of it. We can just relax about it because it's what's looking, but without the need to get the words right. What you are is not a beggar. What you are is not in need, and it's not in lack. You are a kingdom just appearing as something in poverty. You aren't really, though. And that is why in an instant, or in the twinkling of an eye, some say, that impoverished thought or idea can be swallowed up by what you call the kingdom, or the light, or the impersonal seer. You don't need to understand this. You won't understand this.
I know there's not.
But there is something there that sees the thoughts, emotions, and has no interest, so to speak, in that inquiry. It's just so overlooked, beingness, because it's a quiet confidence. We're used to the narrative of the doubtful mind, which is merely beliefs and ideas we've heard from other teachers like Nisargadatta. But you could say all of this arising is Nisargadatta. There really wasn't a past one. But as long as we go into the time, we're going to make really important, we're going to make these teachers seem like they're important in what they said. Nothing is important.
Yeah, I know. In this kind of, in non-duality and all this stuff, it gets to a point where words.
It's all hopeless. That's what we come to one comes to recognize. Oneness it's hopeless, because the dynamics of imagination is what's trying to get it. And that's what we're calling the illusion. What you call you is the storm of thought, and thought seems to create the appearance of time and evolution. Of, okay, the more we do Q&A, I can get closer to this. It's a lie. Time's not real.
Yeah, I know time is an illusion.
And that's but that's the predicament, is you really think you have time. You don't. None of us do. But also the mind doesn't like the silence or quietude.
Yeah, I know the mind tends to get bogged down in all this stuff too. And there have been times when like meditating, whatever, I notice the mind just gets all caught up in questions and meanings, definitions,
Yeah.
this, that, and it's like,
Something sees that, though. That's the record
it's like,
player. There's something
like-
there that sees that, though.
it's something like I just, gotta shut up, stop, no more.
It can't. The mind can't shut up. But
I
what's
know,
interesting?
just momentarily.
the mind. Listen. I'm just gonna be super blunt. The mind can't shut the fuck up. It's just gonna
Yeah,
keep
I
going
know.
and going and going and going. But I'm not talking to the mind here. I'm
Yeah,
speaking
I
to you
know.
with a capital Y. It's here. It's looking. It sees the thought forms. Yeah. They arise, they fall. Same with emotions. It doesn't have that angst. Yeah. Relax. It's already appearing as you sitting, breathing. There's nothing that you need to get or understand, brother. I'm not important or special, and I don't have anything for you. This is as equal as a blade of grass. You and I are inseparable, actually. I'm a manifestation of yourself, confirming what you know intuitively. This is just a huge permission slip, just appearing as a female. Sometimes it appears as a swan. Sometimes it appears as a tree.
Yeah.
It's just appearing as this right now. But my love, you step outside your front door, the same message is there. You go to your kitchen, the same message is there. You go to the potty chair, the same message is there. You are home. This is not understandable. And it's when that understanding seems to crack and crumble, that love that we're trying to find through understanding bubbles to the surface as joy, innocence, inspiration. I don't have this. I actually don't have anything. I didn't earn this. I didn't achieve this. And you won't either, brother. And that is true compassion. It's tapping you right on the nose and going, my love, you're home.
Okay. It gives the mind a break. Much needed break too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're there. Yeah.
that's all I have. I mean, enough said.
Good talking to you, Jay. Hey, Petra.
Hey, it's funny. I just wanted to ask you to talk about home. And
Oh.
yeah, you just did. Yeah, maybe again with the feeling of loss in general, or
Yeah,
lost
totally.
home, or
Yeah. There's going to be the play of loss and gain that still arises. Totally. All of that within form will appear. It's not going to end. It's just not. But there is a center point, so to speak. It's not really a center point. Please excuse the verbiage. That has a sense of contentment, that all is well. It's so impersonal and neutral. It can be very frightening to the mind or the belief systems. It's very neutral. And I can share, because it's just arising now, that when there was what seemed to be oscillations or seeking here, there would be what some call glimpses, where there would be a fuse of neutrality and impersonal seeing that would frighten my body. The body would get frightened and jolted, because it was so neutral. It was so impersonal. And the mind is only personal. It can only be personal. And so I can share that this can, yes, kind of have a frightening effect to the central nervous system. And that can seem to what looks like a dwindling and a relaxation over time. There is no one size fits all for this, though. That's just what seemed to arise here. But that doesn't mean loss, apparent death, gains, all of those still arise. And they may last apparent days, hours, minutes, or seconds. That doesn't end either. So when this was told that I had to move, find a home in 2 months' time, there was sorrow, there was frustration, confusion, all kinds of things seemed to arise here. But there was a deep neutrality, and there was a contentment, even though there was lots of waves and crashings and storms. There's something that's so deep, that's undisturbed. Yeah. Always. That's why this is always here. Yeah.
But you don't look for home outside. You somehow there's.
Well, there was what you could say. There obviously was the appearance of looking for a home, and the crunch of a 2-month time span, and trying to find something in my price range. All of those things totally arose. That doesn't end either. Stress in the body, tension, sleepless nights, all still arose, of course. So what the misconception is, there won't be stress responses. No, there's still stress and survival responses if that's in the immediacy. What collapses mental imagination of those things. But obviously, if you're in a country with war, you have to move. That's what's arising. You're told you have to get out of your house in 2 months. Boom, that's what's arising. Your loved one dies. Boom, that's what's arising. But it's not imagined.
I'm
it is an
more
immediacy. Yeah.
About the neediness to need this special place or this special person around me to feel like home.
Of course
that brings me
that's
in
all over.
Stupid situations, of course, or now thinking of
they're not stupid. It's just
it's just maybe it's no. I should take time for mourning first, and
Well, of course. I mean, either taking time will arise or not, but I got to say there's a natural respect and acceptance of those things. When there's a sense of seeking there, we try to cover it up, distract ourselves, and not, we're hiding, we're running from ourselves, and that's what stops. Yeah, there will be pain, just like I teach Luna, my little one. She bumps her head all the time and is always getting boo-boos. And she's like, Mom, this happened, Mom, this happened, Mom, this happened. And I said, honey, listen, with pain or with life, there is pain and pleasure. I was like, it's going to happen, sister. But you were tough and you were strong and you were brave and we got this. You know? So even my little one says little things like that. But they're inseparable. Pain and pleasure are inseparable. Life, if there's life, there will be pain, there will be pleasure. But you, of course, are beyond. But that doesn't mean there won't be mourning. Of course there will. That's the passion of life appearing as mourning.
It seems as if I have a choice to be sad for a while or to look out for another. But it's not true. There's no choice. If it's
you
to
could say
happen
that. No, go ahead.
That someone told me your doing should be more of a leaving things, and I don't. So not hurry and try to manipulate the situation, but on the other hand, there's no one who can manipulate. So
well, if there's manipulation happening, there's manipulation happening. Yeah, it's just, well, you could say manipulation does come out of that sense of, you know, if I do this or change that, I'm going to have a better feeling. The person is always about an emotion. Okay. The person is always about, let's get to the highest emotion. And that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hopeless. Because, and that's why spirituality is really popular in therapy and religion, because they're like, hey, I've got this beautiful carrot and piece of candy. Come follow me, drink my Kool-Aid, you know?
I have
and
another
this is like,
lollipop.
oh, you're saying, yeah, exactly. And this is like, wow, you're saying that freedom appears as loss, as gains, death, as villains, as heroes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But similar, sister, it's the physicality isn't real. It's not solid like we think it is.
Yeah. Good.
I know it's heard when it's heard, of course.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away the pain either. Yeah, it doesn't. Sending you lovies and hugs though. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oops. Jay, did you have another question or did you just forget to put your hand down?
Yes, I had another question.
Okay.
This me sense, the sense of me that we were talking about. I've read and heard that the sense of me can be transcended temporarily. You know,
there's nothing to transcend. There's nothing here. This is nothing appearing as something. How do you transcend emptiness or nothing? There's nothing to transcend, brother. That's another story you're feeding me. Good one though.
Sorry, though.
Good one.
Let me
Super
clarify.
good one.
Let me clarify.
You don't need to. No, you don't need to re-clarify, friend. It's the idea of transcendence comes from the idea that there's something that needs to be humped over, hopped over.
Well, that's
jumped
the illusion
over.
of me. Then how about that?
But it's an illusion.
That's
How
what
do
I'm
you
saying.
end an illusion if it's not there? How do you transcend air?
Well, I see what you're. Yeah, I see where you're coming from now. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean, come on. I mean, we're being silly here, but you can't transcend nothing. That's why words can get sticky.
Okay.
And when the sense of separation's there, it always puts two. There's a fork, and I'm saying there's only one. It appears as a you, but why would oneness need to jump over itself? Why would the absolute need to jump over itself or kill itself? You know, it is itself. That's why I say you end up right where you are. But what drops is the idea that you are imperfect or that you need to alter things before you can reach something called divinity.
Okay.
My little one.
It just reminded me again, you know, just how caught up and diluted in the mind we can get sometimes.
There is no mind.
Well,
There's no you. And this is hopeless.
what you said, okay.
Resistance is futile.
The
Is-
resistance is isness. Katie,
Okay.
Hey,
what's up, girl? Good to see
oh,
you.
it's just this mind that's not here is still playing games, and it's, I mean, there is no you, there is no,
There's thought forms, sure.
I mean,
That doesn't mean there's a you. Yeah.
you know, and I mean, these bodies come in and they're what they are, and then these little bodies are taught a name and taught that this is you, blah 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 blah, and we believe it, and it's all a lie.
Right, but what here's this is this beautiful thing. First off, though, I love your shirt. It's amazing. You look great.
Thank you.
Right. First they're mountains, then they're not mountains, then they're mountains again. I'm a me.
Mhm.
I'm not a me. I'm a me again. You end up right where you are. So it's not a lie. It is and it isn't. It's appearing as you. That's why it's a gift. And that's why life becomes more, let's say, naturally enjoyable, because you now aren't the problem, or other me's and other bodies. Because when you're here, it's either I'm the problem or it's the sea of other individuals. You know what I mean?
Mhm. It's yeah, and the time things is really good for breaking out of the
Mhm.
because it's, we know, there's a knowing that there's only this moment and everything is just spontaneously arising, but this perceived mind gets stuck on this story and gets attached and just keeps going over and over. It's like a habit. It's just like
Oh,
a
totally.
habit.
Oh, you're so right. Oh, you're so right. And yeah, absolutely. And that's why sometimes, even though this has been seen and heard by no one, there can be what some would label bad habits operating out, like a smoking or drinking too much soda or eating too much pie or watching TV or whatever, what we would label that. Those things would still carry on. And from an outside source go, they're enlightened, eating pizza and watching Netflix, smoking a cigar or whatever it is. And it's at the hookah bar, and there won't be a change, because what we're speaking about is qualityless, but it appears as all quality. It's the freedom of this. It's so free. It doesn't need to change you or me to have a boom of emotion. The chessboard's over. And obviously there's still preferences. That still arises. But the idea of I need to alter things to get that little high collapses, and there's just life.
And I know you've said this before. Thank you, said this before. But the narrator just kind of is just not really there anymore.
No. And if it does, you could say there's a loss of interest. There can still be a narrative. There can still be old beliefs, and there can be little judgments or comics or whatever the hell's going on. You could say there's not the two-way ping pong going back and forth. Like, oh my God, you're right. Yes, that's so true. Like the whole life coach kind of thing, that collapsed. But they can still spark up.
Yeah.
We're speaking of freedom.
Mhm.
A hateful thought can appear. The most beautiful thought can appear. Because you are light and you are dark. You are the absolute. You are everything and nothing. So to say that can appear, I mean, we're back in a prison cell again.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. But what's funny, and not, I guess that's not the right word. What's weird is when there's no longer this kind of, fence that I need to get over, or an idea that there's a good emotion or a good or bad thought. It's when, let's say, a hateful thought does arise, it doesn't have that supercharge like it did when there was the sense of self-consciousness, because that can't be there. That means something, karma, chakras, shadow, something, so there's like a softness around it, like a buffer.
freedom.
I can't, yeah, and I can't explain it. We're obviously doing the best we can with words,
Sure.
right?
Because
Yeah.
words can't explain
No.
it
Mm.
reduces something that can't be reduced. It tries to limit
Right.
it can't be.
Because what you're looking for is already what's appearing. So it's like, how can you describe already what is? You can't, it's impossible to describe this.
What Hari
Mhm.
is and what it's all there is. It's not just what
No, you're
is,
right.
it's all there is. And
It's all
that-
there is.
when you're trying to describe what all there is.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think for a lot, there's this fantasy idea of when we hear the word oneness, that we won't bump into walls or bodies, or there won't be conflict. Yeah. But that still arises. Mhm.
It's the personal. It's there's still stickiness here with the personal.
When you say stickiness, what do you mean by stickiness? I'd like to hear more about the stickiness.
I guess there's still the habit of the person, and things happen, and then there's
But what's wrong with the habit of the person? Isn't
no.
that beautiful?
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
there's nothing wrong with the habit of the person at all.
There's still this little voice saying, you know, it's supposed to be this way and this way, and that's just more habit.
Mm.
Mhm.
It's like even that goes, and it's like even if there's an old habit or whatever, it just does. It doesn't. Who cares? So what? What?
Yeah. I mean,
right.
So what?
Just like you might have a freckle, right? Just like you might have a freckle or mole the rest of your life that you're just like, what is that thing? Whatever. It's still there. You just don't. You're not.
It's just part of the freedom of perfection of
Absolutely. Like we're
all
talking about
around.
the me like it's a tumor.
Right.
Like it's some cancerous like thing that needs to be plucked out and stabbed to death. And it's like, all right, guys, woo, let's just chill for a sec. The me is the absolute.
Amen.
There really isn't another. And that's why more so this is reeling into just let's cut out the me. Let's cut out this whole dialogue of, this sense of meanness and all that.
Yeah.
It is the absolute, including what we're calling negative habits, including hateful thoughts, including judgments. Those things can still arise. Even the sense of being in traffic and going, oh my God, like I really got to pee and I need to get home. Let's hurry up. That can arise too. That's life. That is the passion of life.
Yes. Yeah. And life just brings
let your hair
exactly
down.
what's needed. Yes.
Take your shoes off. Put your sweatpants on. It's okay.
It's thank you.
Turn on the stones. Yeah.
Yes.
All is well.
Absolutely. Satisfaction. I think I'll dance to that afterwards. Yes.
Yeah. You enjoy it.
Yes. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day, and so happy for
Thank you.
how the move is all.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Katie. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, let me tap on this for a sec. Jay, damn, the tendency of the illusory mind is to think of and see everything in terms of me, I, etc. And beautifully so, guys. I'll see this in session space, one-on-ones, where they're trying to literally not say me or I. It's, guys, it's natural. The verbiage, the talking, all of it, you'll still say me, mine, I. You'll still use the word time. But there's no longer an insecurity there. There's no longer self-conscious about using the word I or me. Again, remember, when you are no longer self-conscious, but conscious, you're no longer a person. So there's still a seeing, there's not an embarrassment of what arises with that. Like saying I or me. It's so natural. And plus, it'd be really weird to not say I or me. Like words would be really weird. The conversation would be very strange. Very strange. Yeah, the shame drops. Totally. Yeah, thank you for typing that out there. Hey, Peter. Pumpkin eater.
Hello, it's me, Tio.
Oh.
So
It's just did it to compute now.
so basically, okay, so my thing was that I woke up one day and I realized I'm like my realization was that I'm everything and nothing, right? So it felt like good. And then like as time went on, I kind of shed all of these sort of ideas of myself, and the realization became stronger and stronger. And I was wondering if you had any moment like that was you could point at and be like, yeah, that was when I kind of like I hear or like kind of realized that all of this is basically not real.
Well, there was no benchmark. There's no benchmark in time. Like I wrote in my diary, like, oh my God, on this day, this is what happened. Really, it wasn't worth mentioning. But I can also share, this is a story that is no more real than Alice in Wonderland. There was a dropping away here when I was 7, and it was a curse. It was not a gift, because what it came back was beliefs and dogmas. So since the age of about 7 or 8, there was oscillations. So it was kind of a slow striptease versus so that's why there's no one size fits all for this. There was no benchmark. No.
Yeah, I was just wondering how it was like for you. And also like when did you decide
But also remember, sister, it's not like some riveting personal experience.
Well, no, I'm just curious how it's like for other humans, basically. And you're a very interesting human, so that's why I asked. So, I mean, not saying anyone else isn't very interesting, but I'm just saying, I particularly here, I find you very interesting. So, can you tell me when you decided to start the YouTube channel?
Oh, there was no chooser here. There was no choice in anything that was ever created or posted. Just like a cardinal has no choice to sing.
So
I never did it.
One day and
well, I'm sharing a story with you, and what you think is through my story, we're going to have some relation and comparison and kind of fit that into your story, which is normal. We do that when we're connecting with others, and we really think there's a path to this. And it's fine, I'll share the story, but there wasn't one explosion or anything.
Well, I like stories personally, and I thought this was a safe space for everyone, but I'm feeling slightly attacked now.
Oh no, it's okay. No, it's okay. The mind will feel attacked here, but it's just the stories aren't interesting here. And most beings who are speaking about this don't go into the story because, I mean, we're talking about timeless. Nothing in time can bring this to you. So it's going to seem like I'm being discompassionate, but it's just I'm not interested in sharing the story because it's a distraction from this.
From what? Because we're still talking.
Yeah, but it's going into time. What you're really looking for is already what's looking through your eyes. The interest in Anna's story is, I mean, it won't give you anything. You already fulfillment, your fullness, your wholeness.
Give me a lot though. Like I really enjoy stories, so I don't.
Well, you're in the wrong space, sister. That's all I gotta say. The disclaimer on Patreon though is there's no teaching.
You don't want to share your story. I get that you don't want to share your stories, but when you say that stories aren't interesting, that's
no, this one isn't. I'm just not interested in sharing the story of myself.
Yeah,
there's just not a
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you, though. I appreciate who you are.
Hi, Anna.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing? Oh, hey. Happy Mother's Day.
So, what's looking through these eyes?
Would you say? You glitched out for a sec.
What is looking through these eyes?
No one.
And your eyes? No one.
No one. That's what's common to us all. What's not common is our personal stories, and I'm not interested. Yeah. What's common to all is presence, isness, beingness, and that is what's inseparable, sister. Yeah. In that space, though, no words are needed. That's why eye contact or just sitting with the lover or the friend is enough. Yeah.
It's fascinating to me that there, I still see separation, that you have blonde hair and I have gray hair, whatever.
Oh, that
I'm
arises. Yeah.
fascinated
Yeah.
when the stories aren't active, the interplay between two no ones. And there's not two no ones. There's one. It's
Yeah.
just
Waves crashing, clouds colliding, baby. Oh yeah.
harmony singing. It could be anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Musical notes.
But
Sure.
maybe why? Why does he?
There is no why. There is no why. That's what collapses. There is no why, because this isn't really happening. It only appears to be like a dream.
There's a whole nother.
But there isn't a why. When we have this sense of purpose and separation, we think there's a why.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a why, but life doesn't need a why. It is passionately itself.
The dude
There
abides.
is no why. Yeah. That's the wildness. That's the freedom. Yeah.
Yeah. Mwah.
Mm. 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 So good to see you and your smile.
Can I share something with Lindsay? She was talking about eyes.
Go for it.
This character seems to, whenever I look into the eyes or through the eyes of someone, there's a staring back at the isness itself, and you're going to boom, and can be incredibly overwhelming. Sometimes you had to function with this personal realm. It's not challenging. It's just another experience, but it appears like not a weariness either, but words, always words.
You're good.
You had to coalesce. It appears like there's a need to coalesce, so you can just encase yourself within the body, so you don't.
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to say like you're trying to hold like a love frequency or some kind of feeling, yeah, I mean, no, that won't last. And that's why many beings think, oh my gosh, I've lost this. But you can't lose beingness.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's what we're speaking about. It's like an invisible visible. It's untraceable, but it's appearing as the traced. It's a complete paradox. That's why this doesn't set well with the brain, which is cut into two hemispheres. Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of beings too, they'll go, Anna, I'm running into challenges. Anna, my lover left me. Anna, I lost my job. Okay, that can't be it. Of course it is it. So is the sadness. Mm-hmm.
Within every experience seems to, if the personality or the attachment, obviously, that is released.
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The natural play of life happens in a just perfectly magnificent way.
Yes, in that magnificent way, though, could look a little dysfunctional, or maybe ugly or messy, or yeah.
But it works out one way or the other.
It works out or it doesn't, I guess you could say. Yeah. I mean, what we're trying to think is the mind is always in this idea of cause and effect. We're not causing an effect, and this isn't cause and effect, it's causeless. And with a causeless message, what do you do with it? You can't do anything with this because it's not a handout. You know what I mean? It's not a parade. I mean, I'm literally just a huge, gigantic mirror. That's it. And that's why it can be very frustrating, or like, oh, wow. Ooh, sweet. I can breathe. Yeah. Or a combo of the two. Sometimes it can be a little mixed bag, and that's okay. There's still a body that arises. Mm-hmm. And this is why I love Jesus's saying of it's being in the world yet not of it. I like to say it's having your cake and eating it too. So there's going to be the worldly phenomenon that arises, of course. But it's like it's a seen through. And I know a lot of the times when we hear that, oh, it's seen through, that means I won't get irritated. I won't get sick, or I won't get, no. It just doesn't have the narrative. It doesn't have the center point of ownership. The emotions aren't owned. The thoughts aren't owned. What's arising isn't owned. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's his or her name?
They call her Kitty Mama.
Oh, I like it. Kitty Mama for Mother's Day. Perfect. Kitty Mama. That's funny.
She can
Gorgeous.
say Happy Mother's Day. Right?
Gorgeous. Funny enough, Mauricio, the new place we're moving into, it comes with a Maine Coon cat named Chanel. So I will have another fur baby. I love it. Cats are awesome. You enjoy, friend. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can you guys
Hi.
hear me? Okay. This is a shirt that's painted. I use it for hiking, and I guess also now Sangha meetings. Yeah.
Cool, man. Congratulations on your painted shirt.
Yes, I really like it. I didn't paint it, but it was from a friend.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You got a question, friend?
No.
Just want to say hi?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Anna.
Johannes, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
All right.
Nice smile you're rocking there.
I just loved Ivan's contribution.
Hey, you know, it's all good. It is what it is.
I wanted to well, thanks for the thing that you mentioned earlier with that body visceral reaction, because it's just like stuff that's happening. I don't know, a few days ago, I had like this kind of insight.
Whoa. We're going to go way back to 3 days ago.
Yeah, whatever. We don't need to go there.
Whoa. Yeah, man, where are you going? Where are you going? We can go to 3 days ago, but we're going in La La Land.
No, I was just
What?
like that was just something that resonated because you mentioned that body visceral reaction, but we don't need to go there.
What happened 3 days ago? I want to know now. What
Well, it
happened
was
in the
just like
story
this-
of Johannes
this-
3 days ago?
Well, that's the thing. It's like this, you know, I don't know what happened, but it was like a body visceral reaction kind of thing where like it just knocks you out.
You mean like a response, a body response?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's already what's arising. There's already responses. This is a response here. Response. We're just dancing. Yeah. But it's just this idea, you know, we're so conditioned to go, oh, God, Anna, 3 days ago, Anna, in 10 days, this is going to happen. You see, and that's how we take our tentacles like an octopus and seemingly drain our energy away from this, the simplicity of breath, the simplicity of what's arising. I'm not saying that those conversations don't, of course they do. Of course they do. But we're in obviously a very, what we would call an unorthodox space. This speaks like that too. 3 days ago, this happened, but obviously there was no 3 days ago. That's very obvious. I know. God damn it, Anna, you're so hard to talk to in this space. Come over when we're not in Sangha. Yeah. You want to go further? You want to add something else?
No.
To the body response? Okay. Yeah. Body responses happen sometimes very loudly or quietly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Anna, what is love? Well, we can talk about love if you're talking about romance. Let's go to the arts, go to poetry, go to paintings, dance. But unconditional love, it also appears as war, COVID, Mother Teresa. Unconditional love's everything from the highest high to the lowest low. But within unconditional love, what you're calling like romantic love or personal love, a friendship love, those still arise, of course. Because sometimes when we hear this too, we can think, okay, so there'll just be like this evenness with everybody. No, what arises in this neutrality or impersonality, so to speak, is also personal. So there can be romance, there can be friendships, there can be all of those types of things. It doesn't have the attachment. That's what frightens the mind. There's not an attachment there anymore. Or a codependency. But there's the operations of survival. Yeah. Like look at a baby. There is no one home in a baby. My God, you look into the eyes of a baby, there's no one home. But there's responses, there's functioning. There's the baby that wants to be near the mama for survival, for milk, cuddle, warmth, love. And that's just what's happening. It's very natural. And that still arises. The baby to the mama, or, you know, the body needing food, water, all of that still arises. The body wants to survive, of course. And it's natural for things to grow. Look at plants, they lean towards the light. I love sunflowers because they'll literally turn with the sun. It'll face here at the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, it's here. It's absolutely fucking gorgeous. It's natural for there to be growth. Love grows. But when we feel separate, we think, okay, if I am God, if I am divinity, if I am wholeness, I will have this, what we call personal love all the time. This love we're speaking about is so loving and compassionate. It can appear as being discompassionate because it's so neutral. To our minds in the finite belief system, it can just seem like, oh, it's awful, you know, it's horrible. But it's just so all encompassing. It's so free. It allows all. That's how free it is. I love your statement, Mauricio. Anna is getting as hard to talk to as Tony. We're in an unorthodox space. And you didn't come here. There's no choice in this conversation. But I would say, if you came over for tea or coffee, just chop wood, carry water. May get an ear too full of cuss words. You see? This doesn't talk like this outside of this space we're talking about here. It's chop wood, carry water. The neighbor talking to the neighbor is as equal as this. First they're mountains, then they're not mountains, then they're mountains again.
The pure intoxicating aspects of life in every which form, isn't it?
Yeah, the diversity. I mean, that's the sweetness of this. Oh my gosh. You know, it's like when you're a kid and you go to the candy store. Imagine if all the candies were the same candy. Not cool.
That's perfect. That is perfect. Thank you.
All right. We don't go to the black licorice and go, God, get out of here, black licorice. You're gross and you're too dark. Bring on the cherry. Bring on the cherry. Personally, I like black licorice. I think it's delicious, but that's the preference that arises here. But you get what I'm saying, yeah. Or like an ice cream shop or a pizza parlor. We don't have to cuss the toppings. Just, you know. Seems a little easier when we bring food into the mix. You know, takes a load off.
Yeah, I mean, you don't go to a buffet because you want just one food.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is the buffet. Yeah. Eat it up. Yum, yum. Or as my grandmother used to say, dive in. Dive in.
This character finds that diving in, it's actually no, there is not a more fun way. I guess it's just a fun way of enjoying every aspect of life.
Well, I'm not even going to say it's enjoyable all the time. I mean, you know, breaking your arm. I mean, unless you're the kind of character that loves pain and gets a high off of pain, I don't know if breaking your arm is going to be like, holy crap, guys, that was so blissful. Like, I am so blissed out right now in euphoria from breaking my arm. It's incredible. You know, but there could be a character that's like that for sure. But most typically are not enjoying breaking their arm. But that's the freedom again. The freedom is you're free to dislike, free to disenjoy, free to hate this. Yeah, you're free. Oh yeah, already.
Talking about breakage, there was an experience of breaking both hands,
Oh,
but there
really?
was no
Wow.
pain. There was no pain. It was just, oh, looks a little odd.
Aren't you, BA? You're tough. Oh yeah.
No, but there was no toughness. It
I
was
get
just,
you.
oh, an
Yeah.
experience.
It's interesting too how sensations can either become more alive or they can seem softer, because sometimes the narrative can make pain more intense. Totally magnifies seemingly. Yeah. Right. The whole you're making a mountain out of a molehill thing, right? Mhm. All right, Mauricio. It was good talking to you, but we're starting to skedoodle over the time, so I'm going to wind down. Okay. Beautiful. Let me check the chat real quick, friends. Oh, song by Donovan. There is a mountain. I'll have to check it out. All right, friends. So this is the last song here. We will reconnect next month at the new space. I will be in touch with that. When I post this recording, I'll put the date and time and everything there. I'm still doing sessions through the Move. And my email's available if you guys want to reach out that way. It's kind of my snail mail right now. But I love you guys and thank you so much. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in this. Take care, my friends.
And all
Maybe
the
I'll see
best
y'all
for the
next month.
moving. And
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Anna.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Anna.
Thank you.
bye bye, love.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye, everyone.